Welcome to a stormy Saturday morning here. Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Y'all gonna need Hudco today. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Okay. Hope your Saturday's off to a good start. LSU beats Auburn 3-0. A lot that I want to talk about from this game. Really impressive Friday night win. We'll delve into it. There were some things I loved about this game. And we will preview game 2, which is a little bit later today. Here on this Saturday. Thankfully, I need to check. I'm gonna check the weather again here in a second, y'all, today in Auburn, but because you would assume all the weather here is moving that direction, but it's a night game tonight. It's 8 o'clock, as a matter of fact, on the SEC Network. So a late first pitch tonight for LSU and Auburn, and then Sunday, the game 3 is 1 o'clock. So I'm not super sure why we have such a late first pitch tonight, but the weather should be fine at Auburn. So LSU wins 3-0 last night behind Paul Skenes, who struck out 15 Auburn Tigers. He was incredible. And maybe the most amazing thing about Paul Skenes, who went 7 1/3, so they brought him back out, went through 7, brought him back out for the 8th. And I think they brought him back out for the 8th because he wanted to face Stanfield. Stanfield got 2 hits off of him. I was a leadoff hitter, and they were kind of just, he was hunting fastball, and first one he just kind of doinked into left. And anyway, I think Skenes wanted another crack at Stanfield. And so Skenes went back out for the 8th, struck out Stanfield, called it a night. So anyway, Skenes was incredible, but he went 7 1/3 on 110 pitches. The kind of incredible thing, as we've talked about, is for Skenes, typically when he has had nights like that where he's striking out a bunch, that pitch count gets run up. And we've talked about it the last couple of weeks, Kentucky and Alabama. Their approach, Ole Miss, their approach seemed to be, hey, run the pitch count up on Skenes. Don't swing until you got 2 strikes. Made him throw, make him throw as many pitches as you can, get him out of the game early and try to come back against the bullpen. That's sort of been the approach. But last night, Auburn was hunting fastball early in the count. And so while Skenes did strike out a lot of hitters, struck out 15, you did see some 1 and 2 pitch outs with Auburn swinging and popping the ball up or grounding out. So it allowed Skenes to keep his pitch count low. I remember looking up in the 5th, and Skenes was at 58 pitches. And remember, you want to be in that 12 to 15 pitch range on average. So just think of it like this. If you get through 4, Skenes was in the 6th, and he was at 58 pitches. So you get through 5, you should be around 60 pitches. So he's at 58 through 5, and you're like, he's pacing great. Like, he's going to be able to go deeper in this ballgame. So he did. That was great to see. Skenes pitched you into the 8th. He struck out Stanfield. His night was done. And this is where I think it was so important what we saw last night. Auburn out hit LSU last night, y'all, 7-5. Did we, hang on, this thing is just circling. Okay. Sorry. We're still here, yeah? YouTube, y'all still got me, YouTube, yeah? Sorry, I'm just circling here, buffering here. I'm just making sure y'all still got me on YouTube. My apologies. Facebook, we're still good? All right, yeah, Facebook, we're good. I don't know what's happening on YouTube. My apologies. Okay, I lost my train of thought. I'll come to the comments here in a second. So this is the thing that I think was super important about last night. Okay, so Skenes goes 7 1/3, no runs, 6 hits, strikes out 15, walks 1. He's awesome, all that sort of stuff. LSU's up 3-0, okay? And you are in a very tenuous situation. And we have seen up until this point in the season that we saw a week ago that after Skenes, Jay Johnson brings in Griffin Herring. And then Gavin Guidry is your closer. Like, that is, we all agree, right? That is what this team has established. That Herring is your number one out of the bullpen and Guidry is your closer. Right? I mean, I don't think anybody at this point would debate that. That's where they are, and that's through 7 weekends plus a game in league play, what we have determined. Herring's ERA is 4.19. I get that, but he's been your best lefty out of the pen. He's been your most consistent guy, and they brought in Gavin Guidry as their closer. That ain't what they did last night. Now, I get that you can say, well, they wanted to save Herring and blind, you bring Ackenhausen, but no. You go win game 1. If LSU were up 8-0, I could understand bringing in anybody you want. But going to Ackenhausen instead of Ackenhausen instead of Herring was, in my opinion, and he may not say it publicly, was Jay Johnson saying, I've got to throw him in the deep end. I trust this guy. He had the hamstring injury, was on the shelf a bit, but I got to put him into a leverage situation and see if he can deliver. And then Ackenhausen gets 2 outs. Skenes gets strikeout to start the 8th. They bring in Ackenhausen. He allowed a hit to the first batter he faced, but then got the next 2, and he gets out of the 8th. And then in the 9th, they didn't bring in Guidry. They brought in Thatcher Hurd. And in those 2 situations, instead of going Herring Guidry to go Ackenhausen Hurd, and by the way, Thatcher Hurd was disgusting. Thatcher Hurd last night was the guy that we've heard about forever. He was snapping off 84-mile-an-hour hammers, locating it, throwing it for a strike, wipeout slider. They couldn't touch his fastball with late run on it, 94, 95. I mean, that was Thatcher Hurd. When you talk about, that's the guy that Baseball America has rated as the number 2 prospect in next year's draft, that was the guy you saw last night. He went strikeout, weak roller to short. I mean, he was awesome. I was like, oh my God, that's him. There he is. And that's several good outings now that Hurd has pieced back together. It was great last Saturday against Bama. If Hurd has figured it out, you can tell, I am excited. If Hurd has figured it out and they have finally got him to the point where he looks like the guy he was expected to be, look out, because now all of a sudden they sort of built the bridge as they crossed it. You got Skenes as your frontline guy. Say what you will about Floyd and Little, sometimes hit or miss, but now all of a sudden, if you can trust Herring, Ackenhausen, Guidry, Hurd, all out of the bullpen, and you still have arms like Dutton and Riley Cooper and Bryce Collins, you have plenty of pitching to make plenty of competent pitching, not just arms, but guys that you can trust to give the ball and go get you outs to make it through any postseason tournament. So that was so exciting last night to see them go Ackenhausen Hurd, because you know what you get with Herring Guidry. I mean, that's Herring follows Skenes, and then Guidry is your closer. I mean, that's what they've established here over the last month. And last night to go Ackenhausen Hurd was awesome. So loved it. Loved that. Then offensively, of course, I mean, you got it started quickly with Gavin Dugas getting hit on the first pitch of the game, and then 2 pitches later, Trey Morgan goes yard. That run stood for the bulk of the game until Morgan singled home Milazzo in the 8th. So a unusually off night for LSU baseball. Just 3 runs on 5 hits, but it held up. So Tigers win. They move to 16-5 in SEC play, leading the conference now overall. Vandy lost. So fantastic to see, man. Off and running. And you're playing this game now where it's really just math to lock up your national seed. So, all right, let's see. We will say some good mornings here. See what y'all got. Kelly Gross, Jeff McKiffin, David Coslin. Good morning. Brant Roban, Auburn's pitching staff went in reverse. You said. Well, so it's calling pitch. They pitch backwards. So they basically just held their Friday guy for game 2. The guy they started last night, Chase Alsop, his career long outing was 3 2/3. He went 4 innings last night. So LSU had some opportunities. They hit some balls hard. They missed the opportunity in the 5th where I believe Milazzo got the leadoff walk, and then he got Cruz to fly out and White to strike out with runners in scoring position. Was just, that was the giant missed opportunity to blow it open, was in the 5th, but it's okay. All's well that ends well. Jason Horn, good morning. And so he's saying, did the Bats struggle with only 3 runs versus their third starter? Brent, you can't think of it that way, bro. Like, sometimes in baseball, you hit the ball hard, and they're just like in the first inning, Dylan Cruz had a loud out. I mean, sometimes you hit the ball hard and you're not rewarded for it. That's baseball. But with this team, what we've seen over a 45 game sample is you're not going to keep that offense down in consecutive days. So Auburn's best arm is going to go today, but I mean, good luck keeping the LSU offense down consecutive days. Let's see. Jason Horn, Corey Krulik, good morning. Brandon Jordan, Joe Bear, or Pearson. I was a little surprised they went Pearson last night. My only thought on that was they figured that they would have enough offense that they would just go defense in right field. And Pearson's is a better defender in right than Joe Bear. Now, tonight would be interesting because Auburn's throwing their lefty, and so it would make sense if you give Kling the start in right. Good defender, obviously, but also a right-handed bat against their left-handed starter. But Kling has really struggled in conference play. So tonight will be interesting to see what Jay elects to do in right field. All right, trivia card or Jax Teller, good morning. Any chance we can move Trey to second base? No. Jax, keep in mind, Trey Moore, I'm going to guess you're not trying to troll me. Trey Morgan is left-handed. The only spot on the infield a left-hander can play is first base. That's it. Because of the dynamics of having to turn your body completely to make a throw. That's why you never see left-handed players on the infield aside from first base. So, no, Trey Morgan will not play second base. He will not play third base. He will not play shortstop. Trey Morgan, as I've said for 3 years now, is going to be an outfielder at the next level. Nobody. And by the way, also, the question about moving Gavin to left, Gavin Dugas also has a shoulder. He's playing through it because he's a gamer, and this is it for his career. But the reason second base makes sense for him right now, they still have him in the field instead of just DHing, which would cost Peloso his spot, is it's the shortest throw, right? I mean, even with a bum shoulder, he can still make that throw. So no, Trey Morgan's not moving from left. Chow time, Truex, what's good? Donald Amy, all about sports. Good morning, Zach Lenz, Lawrence Burley, Patrick P, Michael Castello. Good morning. John Malasa, morning, Matt. How's Drew? He's doing well, thanks. Paul Scheme seems to get better with each outing. Sucks we only have him for this one season. Hey, man, don't think of it like that, John. Be grateful that you have him for the one season, right? Melody Benedict, good morning. Randall Offracht, good morning. Let's see. Morning, Matt. Dugas been in a slump. I believe he's not 100%. JJ should rest him. So I'm going to disagree with you, Randall. Gavin Dugas was awesome last weekend, and then in the midweek, he was 3 for 4. So last night, he was 1 for 4, and he was hit by a pitch and scored on Trey Morgan's homer. I'll remind you, last night, the entire team had 5 hits, and Dugas had 1 of them. and Trey Morgan had 3. Morgan had 3 hits. Dugas had 1. The only other guy on the team that had a hit last night was Dylan Cruz. So everybody slumped last night. So I fundamentally disagree with you. You are not taking Gavin Dugas out of the lineup. He's got an on-base percentage of .460. That's exactly what you want from a table setter, leadoff man. Get on base. He's doing that. So no, he should not come out of the lineup at all. Larry Garner, good morning. Zach Linz, the fact you threw Paul, only had to throw 18 more pitches is insane. Shelby, what is the LSU record for strikeouts in the game? It's 16. It was Brett Laxton in the national championship game, 93 against Wichita State. Let's see, Dalton Barnett. Morning, Maddie. Morning to you as well. Matthew Vincent from Kaplan. Good morning. Hey, I would like to remind you all that on Morning Scone, we are family friendly. So I just had to delete a comment that had the F word in it. Not going to call out the person, quite all right. But please remember, Morning Scone is family friendly scone. So people up with their family, drinking their coffee, having their breakfast, getting their donuts and all. So family friendly, please. Thank you. Aaron Fontaine, Morning Scone. And fellow Sconers from North Carolina. Great win last night, late pitch tonight. Gives me plenty of time to fire up the grill, pour some cold drinks to watch those Bayou Bengals. 8 o'clock first pitch is late. I'm here for it, though. Alex Barnes, good morning. Just dropped your name with 1 Hour AC. I told him I heard them from you. Thank you, brother. Absolutely, Alex. Hope they did right by you. Great company, man. River City's 1 Hour Air. They are phenomenal people. They do great work. They will always give you like a good, better, best option, explain all your options to you. They'll never pressure you to do anything, but they are the best. You know, I mean, they are the best HVAC company in town, and it's not even close. River City's 1 Hour Air. Speaking of which, real quick, that allows me to remind you, smash the like button, YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Awful weather. I know when it rains like this, I guarantee our phones at HUDCO are already buzzing this morning. So, HUDCO link is pinned in the chat. If you have roof damage, think you might. I've already been, like, on our HUDCO chat, we're already seeing, we have like a HUDCO text chat, and there's already pictures of like shingles on the ground and a lot of other stuff. So like, you have weather like this, you get it. There's people are gonna have issues with their roofs. Give us a shout. We have crews ready. We can come help you. 752 No. That's River City's 1 Hour. HUDCOroofing.com. HUDCOroofing.com. HUDCO Roof. It's pinned right there. Fill out the form or call us 364-1007. 364-1007. All right, Cody Kebido. Good morning. I think it's crazy. Mulkey pulled the top 2 players in the portal on top of a top-ranked recruiting class. So. We talked about this yesterday on AFR, and it's pretty incredible. But to me, it just further underscores the point that I made after the national championship game that Kim Mulkey's the greatest women's coach ever. She doesn't have the quantity of championships that Gino and Pat do, but only coach to have done it at 2 different schools and to do it in an era of increasing parity and now in the NIL space, also with the transfer portal and to be dominating. I had someone say to me, yeah, well, the only reason Kim won that one is because of the transfer portal. I'm like, you mean the same transfer portal that Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley and every other coach in the country could use? She's beating them all. She got Angel Reese, she got Haley Van Lith, and yesterday she got Anissa Morrow. And oh, by the way, you got Michaela Williams coming in as the #1 player in the country from North Louisiana. So, I mean, LSU right now is, I looked it up yesterday, LSU is the betting favorite to win the national championship next year. It's LSU's plus 400, UConn's plus 500. And then there's like a big drop off in like Iowa because Iowa's plus 900. So, Stuart Angers, good morning. Ryan DeLon loved Hurd in the closer role if he can continue to command it. So, Ryan, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love Hurd in the closer role. He's capable, and he was phenomenal at it yesterday. He can do so much more. He's a starting pitcher. He can extend. I don't need him just to give me 3 outs at the end of the game, especially when Gavin Guidry has been very good in that role. And there's a certain mindset it takes to do that, right? To go get the final 3 outs. But if Hurd can get me 6 outs, 9 outs in the middle of a game, or be my 4th starter, or maybe even bump up and be my 3rd starter if he continues progressing like that. I'm not trying to get greedy with it, but like Hurd's potential is so much more than just getting the final 3 outs of the game. If you need him in that situation, awesome, but that's not where I want him, ideally. Antron Hemingway, morning, Matt. Go Drew, what time is first pitch? 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock Central Time tonight. John also Atchison got the last 2 in the 8th, allowed a hit to the lefty to start the 9th. Hurd came in. I know, I said that. What did I? Cody Kibidoo. Skenes struck out Stanfield to start the 8th. They brought in Atchison, and he gave up a hit, got the next 2, and then gave up the hit in the 9th, and then Hurd came in. Let's see. Ryan DeLon, does a sweep lock in a national seed? No, you got to keep in mind, Ryan, so LSU's at 16-5. If they win the next 2, they'd be at 18-5. It would be highly unlikely, right? But if you were to get swept by Mississippi State and Georgia, you'd be, even if you swept this weekend, you'd be at 18 conference wins. You'd be at 18-11. That's probably not enough if you get swept by Mississippi State and Georgia. So no, but I also think it is. Y'all know I don't like to ever predict a sweep. I will tell you LSU should sweep Mississippi State. They are dreadful. They are a dreadful baseball team. That game is at the box. They have no pitching. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself, but LSU should sweep Mississippi State next weekend. Bubba Smith, Jamie Leday, Earl, good morning. Do you think the portal takes away from teams' accomplishments? No, because it's the rules by which everyone plays now. You could have said the same thing before about just transfers or a playoff or bowl games or whatever. I mean, it's just everyone plays within the same confines of the rules. Anyone could have gotten Anissa Morrow. Anyone could have gotten Haley Van Lith. Kim Mulkey did. Ava, what's going on? If Hurd can get it together consistently, he's going to be a monster. Aaron Hornsby, what's going on? Where's my spot? Oh, man. Kirk Taylor, good morning. Dustin Balillo, good morning to the GOAT Scone. Thank you, Dustin. Very kind of you. Good morning to you. Tanya Grant, finally got to see Skenes pitch in person. Wow. TV doesn't do him justice. Auburn fans sitting behind us talking about how awesome he was. You're watching the game last night. The interesting thing, Tanya, was even the Auburn announcers were cheerleading Paul Skenes, and it's impossible not to. I mean, when you watch that guy, there was one. It would have been in the. I could look up the play. I don't know if y'all care, but I could look up the play-by-play and find it. I think it was in the 6th. He struck out the side. So I guess that was the 6th, wasn't it? He struck out the side. But he gave up it. So he got the second strikeout, and then he gave up a hit. But the second strikeout was, Hang on, let me see. I want to find it. Now I just want to find it. If y'all will just give me a quick second. I think it was the 6th. Yeah, here it is. This is it. So that was it. So he struck out Pierce on a 3-2 count. It was the strikeout of Murray in the 6th. This was it. And then Ware doubled. So he goes fastball for a strike. He missed on 2 pitches, so he's at 2-1. Gets a swing and strike on a slider low and in. Foul ball with a fastball at 100. Or I think it was 98. Or maybe it was 99. And then he comes back and snaps the 86-mile-an-hour breaking pitch for a strike. And Ware just just looked at it. Didn't even consider offering. And I just belly laughed. It was just laugh because it's so ridiculous and unfair. I mean, he showed you 99 at your letters. He showed you a slider that came into the feet of the left-hander and snapped off an 84-mile-an-hour breaking pitch at the belt for a strike. You can't hit any of those pitches. And when you don't, even if you know it's coming, hitting 99 at your letters is going to be tough. The slider with 16 inches of movement, nobody's going to hit that. I mean, and then when the breaking ball comes at the belt and you're thinking 99 and he snaps off a breaking ball at your belt, it's like, it was just unfair. I mean, he's just unfair. It's just, I don't even know what to say, man. Just watching that guy pitch is just crazy. Anyway, okay. Jeremy Fontana, good morning. If you notice any leaks in your home during this rain, call it co-roofing. Yes, please do that. Kirk, interested to see LSU not go bombs away Friday. It's Auburn, but the ability to win 3-0 ball games will be valuable. Gary Atchison, good morning. Great game last night. I was like you. Flinched not so much without Atchison, worried with Hurd. Look, that's back-to-back weeks they've done with Hurd. They brought in Hurd to finish the game on Saturday against Auburn, and after the comeback. So, I mean, what you're showing, what Jay is showing, is versatility within the staff, where now you feel like you can go get Atchison in the 8th and Hurd in the 9th if you need it. You're not so reliant on Herring Guidry, who you still have now, by the way, and Atchison can. Both those guys can definitely pitch again this weekend. Lance Richard, how did Terrio and the boys do yesterday? I don't know. Let me find out. Dunham won 12-2, run rule. So the deciding game today. Stephen Walzak, morning, Scone. Heard you mention Jay, and Athletic Command wants to move the pitching mounds off the field. Any idea where they moved him? No, listen, Stephen, I mean, that's been the debate forever and ever and ever, is when they built the box, they forgot to allocate a space for the bullpen. So that's why they had to come in late and just put them on the field where they are. And that's been a major point of contention for 14 years now since they opened the box, because it's dangerous. And hazardous having the bullpens right there on the field. So, but the problem is, where do you put them? There's no spot. Like at the old box, the visitor bullpen was on the field, but the home mound was behind the bleachers down the third baseline. You don't have a space for that at the new box. And in theory, you could put one bullpen behind the wall in right center next to the bleachers, but all of those bleachers, all that space right there is used for storage and equipment. So where would you put that stuff? There's not really a very obvious answer for the bullpens, which is why it's persisted the way it has. Like they're probably going to have to deconstruct and reconstruct something, which is going to be very expensive. Earl, let's see, Matt, with our draft this year, if we stay healthy with an easy schedule, our Saints can make a run to the NFC Championship. Earl, the only thing I'll tell you, kind of what you allude to there, is that like quarterback play in the NFC is probably not going to be very good next year. So maybe in that sense, because the NFC would be weak, you'd think that. But I also am not confident the Saints are going to be any good. Lance, we need her to be the fourth starter if we want to ultimately win it all. I'll disagree with you, Lance. I don't think you certainly don't need a fourth starter. If you come out of a loser's bracket, you could end up in that scenario. But I mean, look at what Ole Miss did. Ole Miss did last year with two. They had Dylan DeLucia, and Hunter Elliott. They ran through the postseason with two arms. So you can do it, especially when Paul Skenes is at the front of your rotation if you constantly play through the winner's bracket. So you don't need a fourth. Kelly Presley, good morning. Why is the game so late this evening? It's on SEC Network, so TV dictated the start time. Kenneth Kyle, Matt, I know you don't know for sure, but going to the baseball game tomorrow, are kids below 2 free admission? Oh, I don't know that, Kenneth, and especially at Auburn. I don't know Auburn's policies. I would look at Auburn's website or call their ticket office and ask them. Matt Godwin, John Webb, David Wallace, good morning. Deborah Cowart, good morning. Kirk Taylor, want to say how you forget. I just want to say how you forget to put bullpens in a baseball field. I know. There were several things when they built the box, y'all, that they messed up. That was one of them. The other was suites. Like, they completely underestimated. Because remember, they didn't have suites before at the baseball field, the old box. So when they were building the new box, they completely misjudged demand. So they started building the box. And if you remember the first several years of the box, they had these, like, if you look at where the suite level is, at both ends, they had these metal open metal frames, because they came back after the season for several years and built more suites, because as soon as they broke ground on the box, they knew they already didn't have enough to meet the demand. They had more demand for suites than they had planned to construct. So that's why they left those. They added the frames so that way they come back after the season and fill them in, which ultimately they did. And they still need more. Let's see. YouTube, do me if you're 164 watching, if you would take a quick second, smash that like button. Subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Should remind you. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Hudco's pinned in the chat, both Facebook and YouTube. That pinned comment is the Hudco link. The form on the homepage, like just so you all know how that works. So I think sometimes you think, oh, I fill out a form, is anyone actually going to see it? Yes. If you fill out the form on the Hudco page, it automatically alerts our scheduler that you're there. It automatically puts you in the queue, and it populates you into the system. So that is actually the best way. You can always call. Like, some people just prefer to talk to a human to schedule, which you can do. But like, if you fill out the form on the webpage, like, you are automatically in the queue and someone will call you back, like, promptly. I guarantee you someone will call you back this morning if you fill that out. Or you call 364-1007. 364-1007. Let's see. All About Sports. I think Guidry is going to be special. The Herd is the present. Guidry is the future. You know, the thing is, though, All About Sports, Guidry's not going to be a pitcher. Guidry's going to be your starting shortstop next year. When Jordan Thompson goes pro, like, the only reason Guidry's pitching now was to give him a role on this team, because Thompson and Dugas won the starting jobs on the infield. So as good as he is, as great as he's played and pitched this year, that's not his role. Eric Waterwater, do you think Herring still being available makes Floyd's leash much shorter today? Good question, Eric. I think it probably, maybe, but I think it probably just depends on how the game's going. I mean, if Ty Floyd is throwing strikes, you're going to roll with him. The problem you have with Floyd, when Floyd gets into trouble, it's when he walks people. So if he's locating, throwing strikes, I mean, roll with him. If they hit him, tip your hat. But I don't think. I mean, you've got plenty available to you, but you still got 19 innings, or actually 18 innings still to go. So I'm trying not to think of it in that sense, Eric. But ideally, Floyd gets you through 5. Let's see. Ryan Pike, Skenes came back in the 8th. How often does that happen? Let's look. Oh, let's see. Boom. And Paul Skenes, number 20. There he is. And Paul Skenes stats. And game by game. Here we go. All right. Paul Skenes went, let's see, he gave you 7 against Arkansas, 7 against Tennessee, and 7 1/3 against Auburn. So that was his longest outing of the year. 7 1/3 last night was his longest outing. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6 1/3, 7, 7, 3 against South Carolina. 6 against Kentucky, 6 against Ole Miss, 6 against Bama, 7 1/3 yesterday. So that's the really interesting thing, right? I mean, he threw 110 pitches, but that's what allowed, keeping his pitch count down early in that game is what allowed him to extend deeper. The pitch count ended up being what it's been, but it's why he was able to extend. Ray Langlois, morning, Matt. Thought the Tigers played well. Everyone who plays them will give their best. Tigers have to keep their focus. Melody, win is win. As long as you win, doesn't matter how. Last night it was with Skenes, Ackenhouse, and Hurd. Sometimes pitching defense win, not common for LSU. Donovan Peterson, Jeremy Fontana. Jeff Hawk, good morning. What up, my dude? Jeremy Fontana, pretty cool dad shirt. Yeah, every year for Father's Day, Erica will always do like these special, probably like Etsy or something. She'll do matching shirts for me and Drew. Mine's a dad. His probably last year said like Daddy's Boy or something like that. But we always end up with matching shirts for Father's Day. Jared Weems, love your opinions. They're based on facts. A lot of people don't agree with it. Have a good Saturday, Matt. Thanks, Jared. Yeah, man, look, it's okay if people don't agree with my opinions. It's fine. But Oh, that's what happened there. Oh, there we go. There it was. No. Huh. Why is this not power? Huh. Hang on, y'all. This outlet's not getting power. Lost power last night. It's weird. Ah. If we had tripped a breaker, nothing in this room would work, right? Somebody with some electrical savvy. Why is that outlet not, like one outlet not getting juice? Oh yeah, Router's off. How am I getting internet? How am I getting internet in here? Okay, I'm perplexed now. I don't know how I'm getting internet. Oh, it must be on a battery backup. I bet that's a battery backup on the router. Huh. How are the lights on in this room if the outlet on that wall isn't getting juice? That's weird, right? Trivia, does it share a wall with the garage? No, it shares a wall with our bedroom, and our bedroom has power. That's super weird, huh? I don't know. Someone who knows some more about electricity would have to tell me that, but that's really, really weird. John Webb said receptacles are on a different circuit. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, weird. So I'm going to try not to run out of battery on my... Hey, bud. Whoops. You want to come say hi to Dad show?
Man.
Huh?
Not for Dad show.
Well, after Dad show, we're going to get dressed and we'll go for a ride in Dad's car. Dad's new car. Oh, Dad's new car. Where you want to go? To where? To Daddy's. And ride the elevator. You want to come say hi to Dad's show? Hey, come say hi to Dad's show. Hey, come say, hey, you. Nope, he gone. He gone. He gone. Paul Losi, Trey Potan, heard might have found his places to close. Yeah, Trey talked about it a little bit earlier. I disagree with that. He was great last night, but he is so much more valuable in a role where he can extend. And Guidry's been great in that role. So I love the fact that they know they can trust Hurd in that role, right? I don't know if Jay will say this, 'cause I don't think he'll ever give out strategy, but what he has shown us over the last month is in a situation like that, after Skenes, he would go Herring, Guidry. And the fact that last night he went Ackenhausen, Hurd was a big yo. Like, dude, I'm trusting y'all in this moment to go close this thing out, get us a win. Don't make me go to the other guys. And they delivered, which was awesome. You think Coleman comes in and eventually takes over the Saturday or Sunday starter role? So Kirk, I don't know that, and it's interesting. But I had Jay Johnson on the show. Was it Monday this week? And I asked him about Coleman, and my question specifically was about ramping him up. Right, like he went from 16 pitches his first outing to like 25 to like 41 or whatever it was, the 45 last week. And so I asked him, I was like, do you ever get to a point where you just take the shackles off and just let him go? And his answer was paraphrasing, but was like, maybe, but they have a very, very specific plan about how they are very cautiously ramping him up. So it would be great if you could get to a situation after another month, right? When you get through the SC tournament, you're in regional play, if he was strong enough to feel like, let him go. So, what a luxury that would be, right? Derek Adams, Matt, want to honestly say thank you for the rant about LSU baseball fans that are overcritical of the team, because I was one of them. I needed a slap in the face. I can take that with respect. We have a great team, and they have been finding any way to win games. Love you, bro. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate the comments, man. I'm glad you took them that way. So, yeah, sometimes it's important to step back and look at what you got, man. There's a reason this team is consensus number 1 in the country. They're awesome. You're watching a pitcher that you see about once a decade in college baseball, a guy like Paul Skenes. Dylan Cruz is the best player that's ever come through here, the most talented player that's ever come through here. They have not lost a weekend. It is, every team has warts. This team covers theirs up better than any team in college baseball. And if they have found something with Thatcher Hurd now, with Javen Coleman getting healthier, they've got everything you need. So I'm very, very excited about this team. So thank you for the comment. I think most people, by the way, Derek, who heard that, who were on your side of it, were probably just a little embarrassed because of the way I kind of called everybody to the carpet. And probably just like, you're quiet about it, maybe a little embarrassed, but good on you, dude. Like, good on you for acknowledging. Hopefully it helps you enjoy the, enjoy the rest of the season a little bit more instead of sweating every little thing that maybe doesn't go the best. So, all right. Where am I? Trey Potan, Matt, what's your thoughts on predictions on UFC 288? Cejudo is a slight favorite in the fight over the champ. So tonight's Aljamain Sterling against Henry Cejudo. I mean, Sterling, I love the reach advantage for Sterling, and it's a significant reach advantage. But I think Cejudo's a little more well-rounded, dude. That's going to be a great fight. I probably wouldn't bet that fight, but maybe slight lean Cejudo. But that's one I would probably just watch and be excited to watch. Yeah, so Lance, it could be tied to a GFCI, but like I don't see the GFCI on the outlet. There isn't one on there. Yeah, there isn't one on that outlet. So, I don't know. Who you got in the Derby now that the favorite's been scratched? Oh, I have no idea, dude. None. Bubba, there is no button on the outlet. So, that happens often on an outlet in our bathroom we have a TV in the bathroom. Erica she takes like 2-hour baths and she likes to watch TV. So we have a TV in there. And so that happens a lot where we have to push the button on the outlet, but there isn't one right there. Anyway, I'll go see if we tripped a break or something like that. Kobe Isabel, good morning. Smash the like button while we're here. 151 watching, only 59 likes. I know we can get that up on YouTube. So please take a quick second, smash the like button. If you're on mobile, just X out of the live chat. Hit the thumbs up and come right back. Everyone's saying that the GFCI, but like there is no button on the outlet, so I don't think that's it. But I could be wrong. Check all the outlets in the room. Yeah. Well, I'll do that after the show. There's one right there. But I don't think I have an extension cord. Well, I think I have a little small extension cord. Hang on. Try this. This is why y'all come here, right? Morning Scone, where Scone figures out power issues in his office. All right, let's see. All right. Let's see if we can figure this out together, y'all. Small extension cord. Let's use this out. Let's see if this works. Find out. Nope. Bummer. So it's all the outlets in this room. So weird. That, again, like someone who knows way more about power and electricity would know why, but like that's bizarre that the lights come on in this room, but the outlets are not. Okay. Well, at least I know that answer now. Weston Weaver, what's going on? Cody Kibido, by the way, Terry's crazy. Mint juleps and brunch are awesome. I don't love brunch, but I do love mint juleps. That was Terry's letter yesterday, if you missed it. Cody Isabel, I recently moved to Omaha. If LSU goes to the CWS, I'll be on cloud 9. Awesome. How about that? Like Kirk just moved back to Louisiana from Omaha. Cody Isabel just moved to Omaha. Thank God for the transfer portal. It's allowed our coaches to find fast success. I mean, it's allowed every team to find fast success, right? If you use it properly. But yeah, for sure. Is State so bad LSU 10-run rule them? Yes. Mississippi State is the worst pitching staff in the conference. Their staff ERA is like 9. I mean, it's in conference games, it's terrible. Like they are awful. After Dad's show, we're gonna get dressed and we're gonna go for a ride in Daddy's new car. You're getting to be such an old boy. You're gonna be so big. 2? Daddy's work. You wanna come see? You wanna come see? Come say at Dad's show. Come say at Dad's show. Come say at Dad's show. After Daddy's work, we'll go to Drew's house where your backpack. Come say at Dad. Come say at Dad's show.
Not for backpack.
Come say at Dad's show.
Not for backpack.
What do you want to do after backpack? Play. Okay.
Play.
I think later tonight, I think maybe Mama and Papa and Gramps might come over. What do you think about that?
And then?
Well, then it'll be nighttime and we'll watch baseball and then we'll eat your dinner, take a bath, go night-night.
When's tomorrow?
And then tomorrow's Sunday.
On Sunday.
On Sunday, we'll do Dad's show. And then Daddy will go to church. And after church, where are we going to go? To the mall. Ride the elevators at the mall? Hey, come see. Come here. Come say hi to Dad's show. P is for pennies. Hey, come say hi to Dad's show. Hey. He's playing with y'all this morning. Being defiant, knowing good and well what I want him to do, and he won't do it. Let's see. Nikki C., what do you make of the situation that led to the Alabama baseball coach getting fired? It's crazy. Dude bet against his own team. Or at least provided information for someone to bet against his team. That's bonkers. Let's see. Zach Lynn's, do you see Jay pitching Skenes twice in the SC tournament, regionals, or CWS? The only time he might pitch twice would be the College World Series, which would be if you pitched the opener and they made it to the championship series. So let's say LSU ended up playing Friday or Saturday, opener, CWS. If LSU would get to the championship series, the championship series is now Saturday, Sunday, Monday. He would pitch the opener of the championship series then. Either the opener or game 2, depending on how it all plays. No, it would be the opener. So he would pitch potentially twice in Omaha, but that's it. You wouldn't throw him twice. You'd never throw him twice in a regional or a super. No shot. Hey, buddy. And Eon. Hey, come here. Come here. Drew, come here. Come here. Adam Fontenot, let's see. Oh, no. The Gator Spring recap the other day was depressing, and I'm not a Florida fan. I know. Joey Metke, Cortland Jacob, forgot yesterday was Friday, missed most of the game for the first time. Did Auburn take a midweek approach to pitching last night? No, not a midweek approach. They pitched backwards. They just held their Friday guy for game 2. And you got to keep in mind from an Auburn perspective, Auburn is trying to make the NCAA tournament. And so there are 9 conference wins. You're playing a math game right now if you're Butch Thompson. That's Auburn's coach, for those that don't know. You're at 9 conference wins. You just can't get swept by LSU. You got to win 1. So if your best bullet is Tommy Vale, who's a lefty who's going to go today, your best bullet, you don't want to use it against Paul Skenes. So that's why I held him for today, to give themselves the best chance of winning today. So you win 1, that puts you at 10 wins. If you find a way to scratch out 2 more series wins the next 2 weekends, which gets you to 14, you're going to be a regional. You're going to get into a regional. They're not going to host, but he's just trying to get into the postseason. If you get swept by LSU, well, Now you might need to sweep one of your final 2 weekends or make a deep run in Hoover to get in. So he's playing a math game. I get it. If this was the first weekend of the season of conference play, he's not pitching backwards. It's because of where they are right now with 3 weekends to play, what he's got to do. So I love this idea. Ryan DeLon said, Matt, what are the odds we get Whiskey and Wine Baseball Edition when we get to the postseason? I love it. I know Don Juan is totally down. They want us to do, like, anytime we have an opportunity to get out there and do a show there and pack that place out, they love it. They're like, just tell us we're down. So I'll talk to T-Bob and we'll see. The one that might make the most sense would be, the Saturday of the regional, because that would be the marble game, or the Saturday of the super regional, hopefully, if that was a closeout, But we got a little time to get there. But I think we'll do it. I think we'll end up doing some type of Whiskey and Wine baseball at Don Juan for something. Maybe it's an Omaha game if they make it to the CWS. So we'll see. Leon Williams, Cortland Jacobs seems to be some space on either side of the batter's eye. Oh gosh, I am so far behind. Of course, I'm talking about the bullpens. My apologies. Let's see. Leon Williams, how in the what did Paul Skenes end at the Air Force Academy? Glad he transferred to LSU, gives Ben McDonald type excitement on the mound. Not sure what the question was there, Leon, my apologies. I think the thing with Skenes, I don't know if that's what you're asking, but Skenes left Air Force because if you go through your 3rd year, then you are obligated to your military commitment. So that's why he left, because he was going to have this opportunity to pitch and be the potential first pick of the draft, second pick of the draft. What are the chances the Saints win the division? They're the favorite to win the division. I think they should win the division. Unless if Bryce Young just is an absolute stud. Tampa's tanking and Atlanta's not any good. And remember last year, Carolina finished 7-10, just like you did. They just traded up to get the first pitch, and Carolina beat you twice. So I would look at Saints and Carolina as the favorites to win the division. Depends on Bryce Young. Austin Kidder, good morning. Weekend pitching rotation has not given up a run since your rant defending them. You should do it every week. Brandon Tilley, Jeff Meir, good morning. Jeff Lee, I'm sorry, good morning. One Nardi, good morning. What happened that made Michael Doherty leave the program after 2 weeks? I don't know. Probably looking for an opportunity to get on the field immediately. Thatcher Hurd has been turning it around, so it seems that is very important. No Legs McGee. If you're the Pirates, you taking Cruz or Skenes? Cruz, because he's an everyday player. But what I've been told is that the Nationals are hoping the Pirates take Skenes because the Nationals are hoping the Pirates take Cruz because the Nationals, who pitch second, want Paul Skenes. They feel like he is a front of the rotation guy immediately. Cortland, do the Pirates have a solid outfield? Don't care. Remember, if you draft Cruz this year, he would play rookie ball this summer, and then next year begin the season in the minors, and then probably have a rapid acceleration through it like Bregman did. So you wouldn't even be talking about Cruz until next year, but you got to keep in mind, you'd have him for 6 years before you get to free agency. You have arbitration, all that stuff. So you'd have a young, great player, and then you could decide to do if you want to pay him or trade him for assets or whatever at that point. Damon Gilmore, good morning. Let's see, Zach Lins, did I miss one of your questions? Sorry. Trying to get through this. Oh, man. Welcome to Home Fix It with Matt. Oh, man. Let's see. I appreciate all the info. Let's see. Peter Fenner, I coach with Logan Diggs' uncle. Great family, great athletes. LSU has really good shot to land a good running back, even better young man. Yeah, I've said it whenever Logan Diggs went in the portal. If LSU lands him, he is immediately their best running back on campus. So see if they can get him. I think it's likely, but we'll see. Jonathan Martin, good morning. Zach Lenz, how many more Skenes appearances? So you'll get. Here's what I think is interesting, and I did ask Jay about this on Monday as well. You're going to get him for 2 more conference weekends, right? Mississippi State next weekend, and then Georgia. Jay said that depending on. So the question I asked him was like this. If you missed it, you can go back and listen to Monday's interview with Jay Johnson. Because I referenced a conversation I had with Ben McDonald several months back. I said, Ben, because it's similar style, right? Big, tall, power righties, throwing out. I said, Ben, what point of the season in '89, was there a point where you started to feel fatigue, right? And he said, and Ben threw 159 innings that year, if I remember correctly. He said around inning 120 is when he started to feel like fatigue in the arm. Well, Paul Skenes right now is right at 70 innings pitched on 72 2/3. So I asked Jay, I was like, do you start to consider load management, so he can, he doesn't get hit by fatigue throughout the remainder of the season? And the thing Jay said was, look, the blessing of the South Carolina game was it essentially gave Paul a week off. That's one thing, which is true. I mean, he only threw 40 pitches. If there was a blessing of that whole thing. But he also said, depending on their situation, he may not pitch in Hoover at the SC tournament, which I think is a phenomenal idea. To give him a week off before you have regionals, super regionals in Omaha. So potentially you could look at the next 2 weekends, not pitching in Hoover, regional, super regional, at least 1 in Omaha, possibly 2 in Omaha if you make the championship series. So 6. So at least 3 more. The next 2 weeks and regionals. You could pitch him in Hoover, super regionals if you make it, Omaha if you make it, championship series if you make it. So max more appearances 7. Hopefully you don't have to pitch him in Hoover, so 6 is how many more times you'd see Paul Skenes. Right, let's see. A couple more here. Murder Giraffe, what's up? Raymond, Scone wasn't Drew supposed to sing happy birthday to one of the listeners this morning? I think it was tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Brambo, good morning. Jeff G. Bailey C. Playoff games on college campus are going to be insane. I'm so excited about that. Cortland, I wouldn't start my ace against Skenes. I just didn't know if they used their Sunday guy or a bunch of bullpen arms. No, they used a weekend guy. Well, they really haven't had. So they lost their Friday night guy before the season. The guy was supposed to be a Friday night guy through the first outing of the season, hadn't pitched since. So they've kind of been figuring it out, piecing it together a little bit. But Chase Allsup, who threw yesterday, his season-long outing was 3 2/3, but they don't really have great options behind Tommy Vale. So, David Bass, what's up? Auburn pitching surprised me. Yeah, they did well. Brambo, did the lineman from Wyoming commit somewhere? Yes. Pregnon, he's going to USC or Colorado? Colorado. He's going to Colorado to play for Dion. USC or Colorado, I don't remember. Emmanuel Pregnon. Let's see. Thanks for answering my question, Matt. The name, by the way, is because I'm in a wheelchair. No legs, McGee. Got it. Okay. At least you got a sense of humor about it. I don't think your name is McGee, but if it is, shout out. Let's see, a couple more. anything on Blake Money. Blake Money was there yesterday. I mean, he traveled. So if he were unavailable, they wouldn't travel because you have a limited travel roster in conference play. So if Blake Money were not available, he would not have traveled. Okay. Murder Draft, do you think Skenes, they pitch Skenes, do they make the SEC championship game? No. Murder Draft, my point is, if they, just judging by what Jay said, right? If they have the opportunity to rest him and just take a week off, LSU did this with Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola did in 2015. I think it was the Ole Miss weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Gosh, was it not 2013? My apologies, 2013. Right? No, we pitched against Ole Miss. Oh, that was his final year. Let's see. Yeah, so he pitched, he started 10 conference games, and it had to be 2013. I'm telling you, they gave him a week off. 1, 2. Yeah, it was 2013. Yeah, he pitched at Texas A&M and then skipped a start and then pitched against Arkansas. And it looks like he didn't pitch in the SEC tournament, maybe. So like they did the same thing with Nola. Like if you have a chance to give him a
Hi.
Hi.
What's up?
What's up?
Yeah. Hi.
I bet your backpack is done. I don't know why it's not beeping. All right, I think we're done, y'all. Richie B, LSU Women's Beach Volleyball on ESPN2. Very cool. Today at noon. Very cool. Check that out. All right. John Webb, didn't he pitch versus Pomerantz? No, you're thinking of Renato. Renato pitched against Pomerantz in 2010. That was the big matchup with those two. All right. Thomas Spencer Drew's teasing us. Hey, you want to come say hi to Dad show?
Oh,
No, what?
no.
No? You want to come say hi to Dad show? All right, y'all. I think we're done. Go get that kiddo dressed and go ride some elevators. So thanks for watching. YouTube, please smash the like button. As always, subscribe up to the channel if you haven't done so yet. We appreciate you for being there. Facebook, much love to you. Please like the Matt Moscona page and share this post. I think I shared this with y'all before, but Facebook is starting allowing creators to monetize. So like it helps very much if you, so like when Facebook runs ads, their creators get paid on those ads. So when you see ads in your feed, there's a chance I can get paid on it. So if you would, subscribe or like the Matt Moscona page on Facebook, share the post, all stuff helps me a lot. So I appreciate it. Daddy's new car. We will go with Friday Daddy's new car. Good job. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. Go Tigers. Look forward to that game tonight. We'll see you. Peace.